everyone, welcome to Cybersecurity Champion. Today we are going to talk about what the CISSP exam is all about and what is CISSP certification. We're also going to look at what the exam format is going to be, and we're also going to discuss various CISSP questions. How does the retake policy look like? And briefly, guys, we're also going to see what are the CISSP domains, right? And as we are engaged on Cybersecurity Champion channel, we will keep delving more deeper into each of these domains and exchanging knowledge and sharing ideas. So moving on. Okay, CISSP stands for Certified Information Systems Security Professional, and this certification is governed by an organization called as ISC Square. CISSP is a globally recognized certification, right? So once you have this certificate in your resume, people across the globe will recognize you for your credentials. CISSP, validates your credentials that you're knowledgeable not just in technical aspects of cybersecurity, but managerial aspects of cybersecurity as well. And CISSP opens doors to leadership positions and also high earning positions, guys. It basically puts you in a pedestal that separates the technical, that separates the technical folks and puts you in a leadership position, right? That's how it validates your knowledge and your acumen. And you can also briefly see on the screen what are the 8 domains of CISSP. You have domain 1, which is your security and risk management. Domain 2, which is your asset security. Domain 3 is security architecture and engineering. Domain 4, communication and network security. Domain 5, identity and access management. Domain 6, security assessment and testing. Domain 7, security operations. Domain 8, software development security. And as we're engaged on this channel, please subscribe and follow this channel for more. We will share knowledge and we will exchange knowledge and share ideas on each of these domains, right? So what are we waiting for? Let's get into it, right? Okay. CISSP is a computerized adaptive test, right? With 100 to 150 questions that you have to answer in 3 hours. Now, what do we mean by computerized adaptive test? Computerized adaptive test means, suppose out of these 150 questions, right, you answer the first 10, 20 questions correctly, it's going to categorize you as a person who is knowledgeable and who has a strong technical and managerial acumen on the domains of CISSP, and it's going to give you tougher and tougher questions, right? But the tougher questions also will have better scoring. And as a virtue of you scoring better, what's going to happen is that you're going to end your exam pretty sooner. You don't have to answer the 150 questions, right? Maybe the exam will end for you at the 100th question, right? So that's a computerized adaptive test means. And the first 25 questions are going to be unscored. The reason why they're going to be unscored is that those are the questions in which ISC Square or this examination is going to gauge the level of complexity that's going to throw at you, right? And once submitted, the answers are final. You cannot go back and change things for the previously answered questions, guys. So please be cautious. Whatever you answer is final, right? And the passing score for you is 700 out of 1,000, right? So that puts you at a 70% mark. That's the bare minimum that you have to achieve. And CSSP is available in multiple languages: English, Chinese, German, Japanese, and Spanish. Truly global, right? Um, so you can have 3 to 4 attempts in a period of 12 months period. That's the maximum. But be cautious, guys. It's a very costly exam, right? It's going to cost you, you know, upwards of 70, 80,000 in INR. It changes from time to time based on the dollar value. Um, but then, Google up quickly to see how much would it cost. But it's a very costly exam. And for every retake, you have to pay the complete fees, right? But there are certain, I mean, if you choose to give it multiple times, if your pocket allows you to do that, right? Then there are certain waiting times. I mean, for example, I would not want you to, but then I'm just explaining for the sake of understanding. Suppose if we do not do well in the first exam, um, the first attempt is going to be, there's going to be a cooling off period or a waiting period of 30 days. Now, even if that doesn't go in the way that you want it to, then you have a second attempt which you can do after a waiting period of 60 days. And then even if that doesn't turn out positive in your case, then there's a third attempt that's possible after the 90 days cooling period, right? And as you can see, the retake policy is a full exam fee each time, right? Now, after you have taken the exam, there's somebody that has to endorse you. If you are from the cybersecurity background, right, and somebody who's already certified by IC Square will have to endorse you that you have been in the cyberspace and you have all the knowledge or experience that you are projecting to, right? So passing the exam is not just important. You also need to have the cybersecurity experience in the truest sense, right? And just to make things easy, ISC Square usually comes up with a peace of mind offer. That is, there's going to be a 1+1. That is, even if you do not do well in the first time, for a nominal fee, ISC Square is going to allow you to give a second attempt, right? So Google up, um, follow issquare.org to know more about the peace of the mind offer. It's usually there. So I would encourage all of you to have it, because CSSP usually turns out to be a very stressful exam, right? So it's pretty important that we, take it. And then it sort of gives you, I mean, not that I'm encouraging you to, don't do well in the first exam, but then it gives you a sort of a comfort, right? I have taken it when I was clearing it. So yeah, it's up to you. You do your research. So the exam or the question formats, mostly it's going to be 4 options: multiple choice, single best answer out of this multiple choice, and some are going to be scenario based, and they would require multiple correct selections. So if the answer is A, B, and C, you have to select A, B, and C. If you select A, 0 marks. If you select B, no marks, right? So you have to select everything that is applicable. So there are also going to be scenarios where you have to choose the best or the least incorrect answer, right? So you, it's not 100% sure shot answer, but you'll have to weigh in the different options that you have on the screen and choose either the best or the least incorrect answer, right? So you have to compare it with the options. So it's not a straightforward single best answer questions that you're going to get. You're going to get single best answer, you're going to get a scenario based questions, you're going to get multiple correct, and you're also going to get the best correct and the least correct questions, right? There are also going to be at times certain advanced format questions where they would ask you to drag and drop, arrange the answers, how we used to do during our school times, right? Uh, so there could be some questions around hotspots where you'll have to pinpoint areas on diagrams or images, right? So where you'd have to select certain areas and locations within the diagram, right? Um, so they're going to be easy to use, but the question is about the precision, right? In these sort of a questions, in a drag and drop, if you happen to, you know, not select one answer, it's going to have a ripple effect on your other answers as well, right? And there are certain important rules. No going back, right? And we really don't know if CISSP is giving us a partial credit on a multi-part question. It's a black box, guys, right? You have a 3-hour limit, and you'd have 150 questions. Like I've told you, out of which 25 are going to be unscored, and they're probably looking at gauging you on those 25 questions, right? And certain test taking strategies or tips, when you're not very sure about the answer, eliminate wrong options to improve your odds. Watch for double negatives and absolute words, right? Absolute words like always, never, all, right? So you watch out for these words, and you only select when they are applicable, right? And double negative words, as you know, a negative of a negative, right? Um, so watch out for those as well, right? Understand option relationships, right? So within the options, there could be a parent and a child relationship, there could be different categories, there could be opposites. So based on the options, you try to eliminate, you try to condense your answer. If it's a parent child relationship, then how would you answer based on that question? But then it's important for you to organize them as parent child or different categories, or if they're opposites. Develop a guessing strategy for questions you don't know. You must answer every question, right? You cannot get away with answering or without answering any of the questions, right? You must answer every question. Breaks are allowed, guys, but the clock keeps ticking. So, so I would encourage you not to take many breaks, but then if you really have to, just take a quick break, but the clock doesn't stop, right? All right, so that is all I wanted to discuss in this video. In the upcoming video, I will dive deeper into what domain 1 is all about, and then uh, you know take it up from there.